Alright guys, so today I'm gonna be talking about how I went from a gamer to a trader in about 10 months. And I think a lot of people are kind of in the same position as I was 10 months ago. Just like playing games, watching YouTube, kind of just like wasting your time, right? And then like suddenly get a realization, right? Like, there's more to my life than, just playing games, watching YouTube, wasting time with these kind of addicting things, right? And it's just that like mindset shift from passive consumption to actively trying to learn something new, learn a new skill, trying to do something more with your life that really pushed me towards becoming a trader. And while I do think that gaming isn't all bad as some people say, I don't think, at least for me, it wasn't the right thing to be doing. Or I guess, I wasn't doing it in moderation, right? I was doing too much of it. And then, one day suddenly I just got this kind of mindset shift, just this like revelation, right, inside of me. And I was like, okay, like what am I doing? Like, do I really want to be doing this? Do I, what do I want to do in my future? Like, do I really want to just keep on playing video games, keep on, kind of watching YouTube, just being lazy, keep on living my life like this, right? And I was like, no, that's not what I want. So that's how I went from a gamer, and then I transitioned to a trader. And of course it wasn't easy, right? There were a lot of like obstacles, and even still now there are still a lot of obstacles and hardships that I have to overcome. But just taking that first step from becoming, or taking that first step to becoming a trader, I think was really a critical moment in my life. And so here are the things that we're going to go over today, so feel free to kind of skip around for whatever you're looking for. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to be talking about when I was a gamer, or back when I was a gamer. And I think a lot of people are, or I think a lot of people can relate, right? So I spent countless hours on video games since primary school, right? And back then we used to play like Minecraft, and then Overwatch came out, and then I got into Rainbow Six, and then once Valorant came out, I got into that as well. And my peak rank was Immortal 1 in Valorant, and that was through countless hours of grinding, right? And I think I spent around 900 hours in Valorant, 1200 in Rainbow Six, like 400 in Overwatch, and then probably around like 1,000 in Minecraft, right? But these last three games, Rainbow Six, Overwatch, Minecraft, I was kind of just playing for fun, right? It wasn't really anything too serious. But once Valorant came out, I started to actually take it more seriously, right? I wanted to rank up. I started playing like Kovacs, right? Doing aim training, researching, looking into maps, going into custom games, finding lineups, like coordinating plays with, my duo. And I tried like kind of everything in my power to rank up. And while I didn't reach Radiant, which is like the highest rank, I was able to get to Immortal, right? Which is like the second highest. And so yeah, like this kind of period, I'd say, in my life is when I got into kind of self-improvement, right? And neuroscience. I was thinking about, or I was trying to search for things that I could do outside of video games, right? To improve my like focus, improve my like motor skills, my abilities, my like speed of thinking, just everything that I could do to improve my rank. And it's not like the best motivation, I guess. But it was definitely what got me into this kind of self-improvement thing, and trying to better myself, trying to get out of just becoming or like being a gamer, right? That's kind of my first step into developing myself. And if I didn't actually start to take like ranked seriously, if I actually didn't try to improve my rank, if I was just playing for fun, then I don't think I would have ever gotten into like self-improvement. I would have never gotten into trading, I think, because this was my first step into shifting my mindset. So this is kind of like why and how I got into trading. So obviously, like, I wanted the easy money, I didn't want to work, I wanted the dream lifestyle. This is kind of something that I think everyone has in their minds when they're getting into like trading or entrepreneurship, or just anything like business, like anything to make money, right? And you when you're going into it, you think it's easy, right? I thought I would go into it, and after like half a year I would be profitable, I would make a bunch of money, I would at least be getting like 10,000 a month, right? But it obviously didn't pan out like that. But I mean, yeah, right, that's just kind of how it is. Everyone gets into like trading or just business with this kind of mindset that it'll be easy money, but it never turns out to be like that. And I mean, I think that's just part of the process, the part of learning, right? You learn to be more disciplined. You learn to set realistic goals. You get more experience with kind of dealing with when things go wrong or when things don't go as planned. And I think it's just, looking back at it now, it's perfectly fine. It's just part of the process, right? You just gotta trust the process and stick with it. Okay, so going over to how I got into trading, my kind of first boot camp or like video series that I watched was TJR's boot camp. So that's how I actually learned about ICT or like SMC. I learned about like liquidity sweeps, fair value gaps, order blocks, equilibrium, breakup structure. And yeah, that's kind of how I first got into ICT. And then after that, I came across ICT and Dodgy. So I watched ICT's 2022 mentorship because everyone on YouTube was saying that that's like the best one, that's the one that you should watch, right? And then after that, I came across Dodgy, right? Dodgy's DD, and he uses the IFVG model, which I used to use. Now I use kind of like a more general like ICT concept entry model. But Dodgy's DD's his IFVG model, right, helped me get my first payout, right? And it was really, I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was simple, right? You just wait for your things to align, your liquidity sweep, delivery from FVG, aligned with bias, and then you wait for that IFVG, you enter on the candle close, and then you just put your TP wherever it makes sense, and then stop losses on the candle close below. And that really kind of helped me to put these ICT concepts into practice, right? Because when you're just watching the 2022 mentorship and you're only using the 2022 model, it's kind of difficult, right? Because like it is hard to trust when a fair value gap will hold. So that's kind of why I just liked the IFVG model so much more than any other model, like the 2022 mentorship. So I got my first eval. So this was a 5k account on funding pips, but then I soon realized that even if I passed and got payouts on this account, it would barely give anything, right? So if I got like 1% on this 5k, it's only $50, and that's not really gonna help me do anything. So this was kind of just my first account, my my account to practice applying what I learned, right, and managing risk. So I think I did kind of use this account for around like a month or 2 months, but after some while I bought another account, and I just like full ported this one, I think. But here is my first funded. So I bought 100k on funding pips, and this was my first like serious funded account where I actually was seriously trying to pass and get payouts off of it. And I passed the eval in about a month, and this was still when I was using a Dodgy's model. So I believe this account I bought in around May, and then I passed it in June-ish, I think, or I bought it in June and then passed it July or something like that. But yeah, I passed it around summer. Right, and keep in mind I started actually learning about trading at the start of 2024. Right, I think it might have been like late January, right? So it's only been about like 4 or 5 months since I actually started learning about trading, right? And then I got my first funded account, and then I got my first payout in October, right? So as you can see here on the graph, this is like the P&L chart for my 100k account that I passed. I passed the eval, and then I got overconfident, so I entered a period of drawdown. So right here, the text might be small, but you can see kind of like the general shape, right? At the start, we just went all the way down to, this is like 93k ish, I think. And then I had a vacation plan, so it gave me a well-needed break. So this is kind of around here when I wasn't trading, and then I came back with a clear and sharp mind, right? So this is around when I came back, and then I started stacking some wins. And then around right here is when I got enough to request a payout. So I requested my payout of about 1.2k. As you can see here, it was in October. So I think I passed the eval around June or July. So yeah, it was after like 3-4 months, that I actually got the payout. It wasn't really what I was expecting, right? Because with these CFD firms, or at least funding pips, you only need a 1% gain to request a payout. So I was kind of expecting my first trade to just be a win, and then request a payout right then and there. But as you can see, I just went into a period of drawdown. I just went into a losing streak, and it didn't work out as I planned. So after getting that payout, I did kind of refine my strategy. So I went from just using IFVGs to a more general ICT concepts entry model, and I focused a lot more on psychology, right? Focusing on building the right habits instead of making money, right? And I did that by kind of switching the way I was journaling. So I went from a journal that was focused on collecting data. So it used to be like on Notion, it used to be like a table view with kind of just different columns with like how much I made, the confluences, the time, the day of the week, of what news we had. So it used to be more of data collection, right? It used to be more of like an Excel spreadsheet. But then I swapped the way that I'm journaling, or I swapped the way I was journaling, and now I use instead of the table view on Notion, I use just sub pages, and I have like screenshots. So like before market opens, I've put a screenshot there, and I write a sentence or two about what I'm expecting, how I'm feeling, and then every couple of minutes, or like every 30 minutes or every hour or whatever, I put another screenshot, write what I'm looking at, what I want to see, what I think will happen, and then every time I have an entry or I set a limit order, or I take an entry, right? Then I put the screenshot. Okay, like what are the confluences? How am I feeling about this? Am I feeling FOMO? Am I feeling greed? And then after that trade plays out, I put another screenshot and then reflect on that trade, right? And I think this way of journaling helped me a bit more than actually just collecting data. Like at the start, just collecting data was fine, but now it's not really about the data, right? I know that my model is profitable. I mean, I know that any model can be profitable, or I mean most models can be profitable, and the thing that's really holding me back is just my psychology, my emotions. So having this way of journaling definitely helps me out way more. And here is my second payout. So after refining my strategy and improving my psychology, I was able to get this payout with an 82% win rate, and I have like another video on that. But this was on Apex, and I bought a 50k account, and then I traded that account up till like 52.6k, and then took that like minimum withdrawal of $500, and then now I bought more evals off of this, and now I'm trying to just scale even further with these accounts. Alright, and that was basically my journey from going to a gamer to a trader. I mean, it was not as easy as I had thought it would be, but I do think I was able to kind of get these payouts faster than a lot of people, right? Because a lot of people say you need at least a year or 2 years after before you start getting payouts or whatever, and I was able to get my first one in about like 9 months. I'm quite happy with where I am right now, and I just want to keep improving my trading, keep improving my psychology, keep scaling up, right? And obviously the goal is still the same, right? You make a bunch of money, you live the dream lifestyle and whatnot. So the goal is still the same, but just the approach is a bit more realistic now that I know how hard everything is. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any questions or just comments, make sure to leave them below. I didn't make a Discord server because I wanted to build like my own community of like-minded people that trade and whatnot. So if you guys could join that, then I would appreciate it. I'm trying to put some value in there, so I'm putting like my backtest journals, like my notes and whatnot. So I'm hoping that can provide value for free, because I'm not selling anything. And yeah, that's about it for this video, and I hope you guys have a great day.